Welcome to another week of In My Mailbox. I'm trying to be more diligent with this, so I will let you know the books that I received this week. I have a book from the library that I had requested from another book blog that sounded good to me. This is called Hard to Hold by Stephanie Tyler. It's an adult romance. It's about this special ops man named Jake who goes to save a senator's daughter in South Africa, I believe, and ends up being her personal bodyguard whenever everything is safe and sound. So I'm assuming there's going to be some sort of romance here. I'm hoping I really like the tug, the push and pull of will they or won't they. So I'm hoping that this will be a read, something like that. I also received a copy of Rival by Sarah Bennett Wheeler. This is courtesy of Different Area Codes book blog. I will be having my dear friend Danielle as a guest reviewer on the blog within about the next week or so for her review on this, and I will also be adding my own comments as well. I was a bad girl, and even though I didn't need anything else on my to be read list, I went ahead and bought some books anyway. I just couldn't help myself. New in paperback this week was called A Secret Affair by Mary Balogh, B-A-L-O-G-H, and it was just such a pretty cover, and in the time period it just looked so interesting to me, and I wanted something that I didn't have, quote unquote, have to read or felt compelled to read, and so it was a very compulsive buy. It is I didn't know this at the time, but it's part of a Huxtable quintet book, and it's number, I don't remember what number it is, but it wasn't the first in this little quintet. I had no idea. I just loved the cover, and I liked the description of it. But it was a very, very good read. It is an adult book. It is an adult romance book, but I really liked it. It's about this duchess, and she's very misunderstood in her society. She had married this very old and very rich duke, and everyone sees her as this gold digger. He dies. She decides that she's going to take on a lover during the season, and this is set in England, I believe. And so she ends up choosing this man who's known for always taking a lover every season. It's a very different society than what we know now, which is wonderful. I just wanted to be taken out of my own realm. And it turned out to be something not exactly what you would expect, but it was a very good read. I read it I think I started it in the evening the day that I got it, and then I stayed up and finished it till about 4 in the morning. It was really good. I also bought Shadow Spell by Jenna Black. It is the sequel in the Fairy Walker series, Glimmerglass. I really, really liked Glimmerglass. I read it this past summer, and it was horrible, and I didn't even realize this came out at the end of 2010, but I'm really glad I saw it on the shelf, so I have that. Look for a review soon. I also picked up My Soul to Steal by Rachel Vincent. I have this is the second book in this series of Soul Screamers. I haven't read the first book yet. I have it, and it's on my list to read. I don't know why I went ahead and got the second book without reading the first book. I've heard a lot of good things about the series, so I just went ahead and did it, because I'm sure at some point I will, and it was Valentine's Day. I was in a book buying mood. Why not? And I bought Secrets and Shadows by Shannon Delaney. This is the second book. The very first book was 13 to Life. If you like werewolves and young adult, this is a good one for you. I was part of the Maximum tour that she did. This just came out this month, as a matter of fact, on the 15th. I haven't had a chance to read it, but if you would like to look at interviews on my blog, you will be able to hear Pita, the main male character from Russia, and he has the Russian accent and everything. He actually answers my question. You can hear him. We have an MP3 of him answering my questions. So move along the blog and take a look. And I know everybody's tired of hearing me. I'm sure we talked about Vampire Empire, The Grey Friar, book 1 of the Vampire Empire series. I had to give my copy away. It was a signed copy from the authors. I didn't have to. It was just a request to get the word out, to get more readers. And so, even though I adored this book, if you have followed me at all, you know how much I have adored this book and how much I talk about this book, and I'll probably not ever stop talking about this book. But my local Barnes & Noble had a stack of these, and I was so thrilled to see them sitting out with the other books, because at the time I'd never heard of them. Whenever at the end of 2010 when they came out, I'd never heard of it. But I guess word's gotten out. There was a nice little stack of them. I was so pleased. It was right by the young adult and the help desk. I even commented to the lady what great taste that they had for putting this out. I'm such a dork, I know. But as I told people on Twitter and the authors, that I was so overjoyed to see it that I had to buy my own copy to keep, to hug, and just see it on my shelf. And I rarely keep books unless I adore them, so this lets you know how much I really enjoyed this book. I also got some books on the Kindle this week. Let's start it. I got one called The Blood Moon of Winter by Courtney. Come on, pop up for me. It doesn't give me her name. Courtney somebody. Courtney who? I guess I'm going to have to put it down there. Where did it go? Conant? C-O-N-A-N-T? It also has some other names here, like Carolyn, Gill, and Joy. Is this a multi-author? I'm going to have to do some investigation on this. I don't know. But the description that I read about it is a fantasy book. And evidently this main character, she's dreaming about this world that ends up being true. And she ends up having a bigger part in this whole dream thing. Something about a crystal pendant that can possibly destroy the world. And there's keepers. And there's people who want it. And there's no, maybe there's not angels. I might be getting confused. I don't think there's angels in this one. Disregard that. Anyway, I'll put a link down here. But it sounded like an interesting fantasy read. For the Kindle, I also got Breathless by Heather Hudak. And this one, I don't know what this one's about. It's in a series called The Cordelia Chronicles. I'm assuming it's going to be another fantasy because I am a huge fantasy reader. But I'm not taking on books unless they sound really interesting. So something about this must have really sounded interesting. I believe it's an indie author as well, because I love, love, love indies, and I'm going to be doing some posts and vlogging on great indie reads. So I think this is one that I saw that I was hoping would turn out well, and that I would really like, that I could include that as a recommendation. So I believe that's how that one got on my Kindle. And another one in the similar state is Starfire Angels. It's also another series. It's book 1. Who is this author? Melanie, N-I-L-L-E-S. And some of these I'm spelling just so I don't butcher people's names, because I really don't know sometimes. But this one does have angels in it. And this one might be the one about the pendant that can destroy worlds. Don't take my word for any of these synopsis things, please, but I will put links down at the bottom. But all 3 of those books have found their way on my Kindle because I am looking for great indie reads in the fantasy genre. I also received some cool swag this week from Imogene Rose. If you like young adult fantasy, Portal is the first book in her Portal Chronicles series. I have some bookmarks here. Equilibrium is the second one, and Quantum is the third book, which I do own. And there are some signed bookmarks. Here's the one for Quantum, and you can see her signature on the back. And she also sent me, which I'm really excited to read, her new series, The Bonfire Chronicles. Book 1 is called Faustine, and I don't know if you can see her signature on this one or not, but these are thicker and they're shiny. I love them. If you are a fan of bookmarks, if you're a book reader, you have to be a fan of bookmarks. But she has sent some of these along as well. So those of you that enter giveaways, or I send books to for some reason or another, you will be seeing these in your books and mailing, because I love to promote these authors. Imogene Rose is also a self-published author. I have read her Portal Chronicles series, and they are very good. They are a must-read if you like young adult fantasy. There's a bit of sci-fi with hers as well, because it deals with time travel. Really cool backstory, how she does all of this, how she ties it all together. But there's also, of course, young love in it as well. So you can't go wrong there in my book. Thank you for listening to me rambling more about In My Mailbox, and until next week, thanks.